are at Eagle River Falls. I was hoping there'd be more exposure now, but it's good like this too. You can see the falls behind me. We're starting to get melting, so they're coming down pretty hard, but there's something interesting here. The part of the main falls where you see here the water coming down, that flows over what's called the Portage Lake Volcanics. Those are the top, right here is the top of the death throes of the mid-continental rift. It's one of the last thick lava flows deposited before the rift failed. And right here is the contact of that and the overlying Copper Harbor Formation, which is the basal formation of the Oronto Group. And the part that's exposed here is called the Garden City Lens, which is right at the contact. I forget off the top of my head, and I'm the one that defined it. It's a couple dozen feet thick, and it's basically a purple sandstone that sits right on top of the unconformity between the two. You see where the falls come down, and then they hit and they kind of slow down. About right at the bottom of the falls is about where that contact is, and that's the dip of the beds. Those falls are following the dip. They're coming over the top of the Portage Lake Volcanics. The Garden City Lens is right on top of that, and it's a purple sandstone. Here it doesn't extend very far either way laterally. It's an isolated lens, and if you look in the cliffs here, you can see more of the alluvial fan deposits more typical of the Copper Harbor Formation. You can see the boulders and cobbles and the conglomerate down over there. You come on this side of the bridge and you can see the cobbles and boulders in the Copper Harbor, and you can even see it dipping into where the river goes. Lake Superior's right there. You can see it from here. I mean, you can see the water of the lake. It's not that far. The death throes of the mid-continental rift, that's where we're standing right now, where it gave way. And once the lava stopped pouring out, it started to subside the basin, and you get all these clastic conglomerates and stuff like that. Like I said, this is the basal one of the Oronto Group, the Copper Harbor Formation. Then above that, you have the Nonsuch, and above that, you have the Frida before you get into the Jacobsville. But anyway, I think that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I'm here to show you something special. This is a piece of what you see behind me here. Where we are is up near where M26 breaks off of US 41 in Phoenix, Michigan, which is just right that way. We are along the road. You can see that way takes you to Lake Superior. What I have here in my hand is a very unamusing looking rock. It's gray, it's basalt. Now, the lithology does change, but this piece is not very impressive at all. It's just a bland, dark gray rock. But there is something special here. What you see behind me, where you go from where 26 breaks off of 41 and goes this way, you start driving through what could possibly be the largest lava flow on the planet. What do I mean by that? I mean single lava flow by volume, meaning magma erupted and just stayed in liquid form and kept being added and added until it solidified. So this would have been in a single event, a single eruption. And you might be thinking, well, Steve, we're in Michigan here. I would think that would be somewhere in Hawaii or Iceland or even maybe the Siberian Traps or the Deccan Traps or something like that. Now, those are assemblages, and this is a flow part of the mid-continent rift, which is Portage Lake Volcanics, which is an assemblage. But this thing by volume, other than the Rosa, could possibly be the largest known single flow on the planet. It goes from here, it dips that way under Lake Superior and comes out on Isle Royale, and a lot of it's already been eroded, and it's still vast and massive. And it's just informally called the Greenstone flow. Nobody's ever bothered naming this thing, which I think is kind of odd for how special it could actually be. But lithologically, it's basically just a basalt, not too different from many of the other lava flows of the mid-continent rift, but it is significant for that one fact that it could possibly be the largest single flow. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope you learned something.